There's a peculiar kind of silence that falls when we look into the eyes of the person we think we love. It's not the quiet of peace. It's the quiet of something deeper, more unsettling, more real. You see, love is often mistaken for something romantic and pure. But what if the love you feel is really just a reflection of your deepest fears? What if, in the person you've chosen, you're not seeing love at all, but a mirror of your deepest wounds, your greatest insecurities, your most buried pain? There's a reason why some relationships feel like they consume you. They feel like an endless cycle of confusion, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. They feel like you're walking in a fog, grasping for clarity, but never quite getting there. You're clinging to something that isn't even real. You're not in love with the person in front of you. You're in love with the idea of them, with the way they make you feel seen in ways you're too afraid to face alone. You're in love with the part of yourself you haven't learned to love yet. And so you keep reaching for them, expecting them to fill a void that was never theirs to fill. The reality is, you're not really in love with them. You're in love with the way they mirror your wounds, the way they trigger your deepest fears, and in doing so force you to face parts of yourself you've long avoided. What if love isn't about finding the right person, but about seeing the right person for who they really are, not as a reflection of your trauma, but as a person of their own? What if love isn't about being saved, but about standing in the fire of your own fears and choosing to walk through it alone, whole and complete? Here are the 5 signs you're in love with someone who mirrors your deepest fears. 1, you feel emotionally exhausted, yet addicted to the chaos. It's easy to get caught in the whirlwind of a relationship that feels like it's both consuming and exhilarating. One moment you feel suffocated, drained the next. You feel a rush of emotions that leave you breathless, like you're alive, like you're finally feeling something. But underneath it all, there's a constant tension, an unspoken undercurrent of fear, confusion, and dissatisfaction. You try to ignore it, push it aside, but it keeps creeping in. The highs are so high and the lows are so deep that you start to lose track of which one feels real. This emotional exhaustion is not love, it's a warning. You've been drawn into a relationship that mirrors your emotional chaos, and instead of seeing it for what it is, you confuse it with passion, with depth. You mistake the turbulence for intensity, the volatility for authenticity. The truth is, the more you try to hold on to the chaos, the more it drains you. You're not experiencing love, you're experiencing a reflection of your deepest fears. Fear of being alone, fear of being unworthy, fear of being abandoned. You're stuck in a cycle where you're so addicted to the emotional highs, you've stopped noticing how much the lows hurt. The chaos feeds on your vulnerability. The more you try to control it, the more it slips away, leaving you with nothing but an aching emptiness. But the reason you can't let go is because the chaos is what feels familiar. It mirrors the instability you've been carrying within yourself for so long. It taps into your deepest wounds, the wounds you've never learned how to heal. And so you stay. You keep hoping that the next emotional high will be the one that finally fills the void. But it never does. It can't. Because love that is based on chaos is not love at all. It is the illusion of love. 2, you keep repeating the same toxic patterns. There's something hauntingly familiar about the way your relationships seem to follow the same path. It's as though you've stepped into a well-worn groove, a pattern that feels as inevitable as the seasons changing. At first, it's intoxicating. You feel like you finally found someone who gets you, who sees the real you. But soon enough, you realize that this familiarity isn't a sign of destiny. It's a sign that you are stuck in the same unhealthy cycle, and you don't know how to break free. You're not repeating the same patterns because you're unlucky. You're repeating them because they mirror something inside you, an unresolved trauma, a fear you haven't confronted, a need you haven't acknowledged. You see, the unconscious mind doesn't work in the straightforward way that we think. It doesn't just respond to conscious thought or logic. It responds to what we're hiding, what we refuse to confront. And so your relationships, no matter how hard you try to change them, continue to reflect the deepest fears within you. You're drawn to people who will fulfill the same unmet needs, who will offer the same empty promises, who will hurt you in ways that feel both painful and oddly familiar. And yet, every time it happens, you can't seem to break free. Why? Because at some level, these toxic patterns serve a purpose. They bring you face to face with your own fears, your own limitations. They reflect to you the parts of yourself that you've long buried, that you've refused to heal. But until you confront them, until you understand that you are not destined to repeat this cycle forever, you will remain trapped in the very patterns that mirror your deepest fears. 3, you're constantly seeking their validation. You find yourself constantly seeking their approval, their attention, their affection. You give more than you receive, and yet you continue to chase after that fleeting moment when they will finally affirm you, when they will finally prove that you matter. You base your self-worth on their words, their actions, their opinions. Every time they offer you a crumb of validation, you feel a surge of hope, only for it to quickly fade away, leaving you hungry for more. This cycle of validation seeking is not love. It's a reflection of your fear of being unworthy. You've learned to attach your sense of value to how others see you, especially to those who mirror your deepest insecurities. You're not looking for love, you're looking for proof that you're enough. You're looking for someone to fill the void of self-doubt, to convince you that you're lovable, worthy, capable. But what you fail to realize is that you are already enough, you are already worthy. The love you seek from others will never fill the void if you don't first learn to love yourself. No matter how much they validate you, you will never feel truly whole unless you break free from the illusion that someone else can complete you. The mirror of your fears will always reflect back that you are not enough unless you make the decision to redefine your worth, to stop seeking validation from others, and to start affirming it from within. 4, you let them control your emotions. Every word they say, every glance they give, every silence they hold has the power to send you spiraling. You find yourself constantly on edge, waiting for their next move, afraid of what they might say or do. Your emotions are tethered to their actions, their moods, their approval. You've given them control over how you feel, how you think, how you see yourself. This is a reflection of your deepest fear, the fear of losing control, the fear that without them, you will spiral into nothingness. You've convinced yourself that they are the anchor that keeps you grounded, but in reality, they are the storm that threatens to drown you. The reason you let them control your emotions is because you've never learned how to control your own. You've never learned how to hold space for your own feelings without needing someone else to validate or affirm them. But here's the truth. True emotional strength comes from within. It comes from the ability to stand firm in your own feelings, to trust yourself, to know that you are whole and complete on your own. You do not need anyone else to define your emotional landscape. The moment you let go of the need for external control, the moment you take back ownership of your own emotions, is the moment you step into your power. 5, you fear being abandoned, yet you're drawn to relationships that prove your worst fears. You fear abandonment, yet somehow you find yourself in relationships that echo this fear, relationships that seem to teeter on the edge of instability. The person you're with may be distant, emotionally unavailable, or inconsistent. And while your heart longs for connection, your mind tells you to prepare for rejection. You don't even realize it, but you're subconsciously choosing partners who mirror this fear of abandonment because, on some level, it feels familiar. You've learned to exist in this state of uncertainty, and the idea of true intimacy scares you more than being alone. Why? Because deep down, you believe you are unworthy of lasting love. You believe that if someone truly saw you for who you are, with all your flaws, your insecurities, your past, they would walk away. So you choose relationships that reflect that fear. You choose the people who make you feel just close enough to the love you crave, but always distant enough to remind you that you are not enough. This is the paradox. You fear abandonment, yet you are drawn to relationships that fulfill this fear because it confirms your beliefs about yourself. But here's the truth. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of stability, of deep connection, of someone who will stand by you no matter what. But first, you must heal the wounds that keep you from believing that truth. You must break free from the idea that love is supposed to be hard, that it's supposed to hurt, that it's supposed to come with uncertainty. Love is meant to be a reflection of who you truly are, strong, worthy, whole, and enough. It is not meant to confirm your fears. You've stood in the shadows of your own fears for too long. You've convinced yourself that love is a battlefield, that it's a war of survival, and the person you choose to love is somehow the one who defines your worth. But it's not them who defines you, it's you. And the moment you step into the light of your own truth, the very things that once held you captive will lose their power. You see, we often make the mistake of thinking that love is something external, something we have to find, something that we hope will fix us. But real love isn't something to be found outside of you. It's something that begins from within. It is the recognition of your own value, the understanding that your worth doesn't depend on anyone else's recognition, approval, or affection. This realization is the first step in stepping away from relationships that mirror your deepest fears. When you begin to understand that no one else has the power to dictate your emotional landscape, the patterns of self-sabotage begin to unravel. You start to recognize that when you're drawn to someone who mirrors your fears, it's not about them, it's about you. It's about the beliefs you hold about yourself, the fears you're still clinging to, the narratives you've been telling yourself about love and worth. It's about the emotional scars that haven't yet healed, and it's about the pieces of yourself that you have yet to reclaim. But here's the truth. You are not broken. You are not someone who needs to be fixed, nor are you someone who needs to stay in a relationship that drains you just because you fear that no one else will ever see you, will ever choose you. That lie, the lie that you are only valuable if someone else sees it, is the one thing keeping you from experiencing true love. The external world, the relationships we form, the people we choose, are merely reflections of what we believe to be true about ourselves. They mirror the beliefs, the fears, and the wounds that we haven't healed yet. It's not them. It's not the relationship. It's what they bring out in you. What you fear, what you suppress, what you hold on to with both hands, thinking that if you just hold on a little longer, you will finally be enough. But enough of what? Enough to be loved, or enough to be loved in a way that heals you? The person you are drawn to might be echoing the very parts of you that still cry out for attention, the parts of you that need healing. They might be showing you the wounds you've been avoiding. And yet, as much as you might want to run from them, as much as you might try to distance yourself from their behavior or their energy, the truth is they are revealing to you something that only you can change. This is the moment you decide. Will you continue to let your fears govern you, or will you rise above them? Will you continue to surrender your peace and your power to someone who reflects your wounds, or will you take responsibility for your own healing? Will you continue to chase after the version of love that comes from a place of need, of emptiness? Or will you step into a love that is based on wholeness, on self-respect, on the belief that you deserve peace? This is not about blaming anyone else for the pain you feel. This is not about pointing fingers or casting stones. This is about looking in the mirror and understanding that you are the one who chooses to stay in the cycle. You are the one who chooses to cling to the belief that love must come with struggle, that it must come with pain, that it must come with sacrifice. And when you let go of those beliefs, when you stop tethering your soul to someone else's emotional baggage, you will finally begin to heal. You will no longer be afraid of abandonment, of rejection, or of not being enough. You will become the embodiment of your own love. Consider the countless stories of people who have stood in the fire of their own fears and walked away free and unscathed. People who have confronted the things that used to paralyze them, people who have faced the darkest parts of themselves and said, "This is not where I end. I will not be defined by my past, by my fears, or by the wounds that someone else's actions have inflicted on me." And so they move forward, not with anger or resentment, but with a renewed sense of self, with a stronger, more resilient heart, knowing that they are worthy of a love that does not diminish them. That love exists, and it starts with you. And when you decide that you will no longer allow fear to lead you, when you decide that you will no longer accept relationships that reflect your fears, that's when your world will begin to shift. The people you attract will change. They will reflect the love that you now give to yourself. They will mirror the confidence, the strength, the boundaries, and the respect that you have cultivated in your own soul. And with each relationship, you will grow, you will learn, you will evolve, but it starts here. It starts now. The moment you realize that you do not need anyone else to validate your worth, the moment you stand tall in your own truth and embrace the love that is already within you, there is nothing more empowering than realizing that your happiness is not in someone else's hands. It is in yours. You are the one who holds the key to your own freedom. You are the one who determines your own worth. You are the one who chooses what relationships you will allow into your life. And you are the one who will decide whether to continue living in fear or step into the full power of your potential. And that power, it's limitless. When you stop mirroring your fears, when you stop allowing the pain of your past to dictate your present, you will become a force to be reckoned with. You will no longer be a prisoner of your own emotional scars. You will no longer be at the mercy of someone else's love or rejection. You will be free to love, free to grow, free to be exactly who you were meant to be. And that, my friend, is a love that cannot be shaken. So take a deep breath and let go of the chains. You are worthy of a love that builds you up, that celebrates you, that cherishes you not for what you can give, but for who you truly are. And the moment you understand this, the moment you stop mirroring your fears, you will see the world and love in a completely new light. You are not here to be the reflection of someone else's pain. You are here to be the embodiment of your own strength, your own beauty, your own love. And once you embrace that, nothing and no one can ever make you feel small again. In the stillness of your heart, there's a quiet whisper, a voice you've likely ignored, pushed aside, or buried beneath layers of doubt and fear. It's a voice that has always been there, waiting for you to listen, waiting for you to remember who you truly are. It's not the voice of insecurity or the voice of the past, it's the voice of your soul, and it has been trying to guide you all along. For so long, you've ignored it. You've chased after the approval of others, searching for validation in places that never truly saw you. You've stayed in relationships that mirrored your deepest fears, all the while believing that someone else could save you from the darkness inside. But here's the revelation. No one can save you except you. You are the key. You've always been the key. It is not an external force that will pull you from the shadows. It's the unwavering recognition of your own power, the strength that lies dormant within you, waiting for permission to emerge. When you stop waiting for someone else to define your worth, you will finally see that the power to heal yourself has always been in your hands. This journey of self-liberation doesn't require perfection. It requires courage, the courage to look in the mirror and accept all of you, the beautiful, broken, complex, imperfect you. The courage to stand tall in your own truth, even when the world tries to make you small. And most importantly, the courage to leave behind the people, the situations, and the narratives that have kept you tethered to fear. There's a myth we've been sold that true love means a perfect partnership, that it means never feeling alone, always being understood, always being seen. The truth, true love starts within. It is the act of loving yourself so fiercely, so unapologetically, that you no longer tolerate anything that diminishes you. Love isn't the absence of pain, but the acceptance of it. Love is not the escape from darkness, but the ability to sit in it and emerge stronger. Love is knowing you are enough, no matter what anyone else says. When you begin to love yourself in this way, when you stop seeking validation in the form of someone else's approval or affection, you shift, you become magnetic. You start attracting the right energy into your life, the right people who are aligned with your truth, people who see you for who you are, not for the version of you they want you to be. And when you attract these people into your life, your relationships will be a reflection of this deep inner peace. They will no longer mirror your fears or your insecurities. Instead, they will mirror your growth, your self-respect, and your capacity for authentic, unconditional love. These relationships will not drain you. They will nourish you. They will lift you up, inspire you, and walk beside you as equals. No more power struggles, no more emotional chaos, just a steady, unwavering connection grounded in mutual respect, trust, and authenticity. But to get there, you must first learn to trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust the still, small voice that has been leading you toward freedom all along. Trust the feelings you've been suppressing, the desires you've been ignoring, the boundaries you've been afraid to set. Your body, your soul, your spirit have been speaking to you in whispers, in signs, in gut feelings, and it's time to listen. There's a sacred space within you, a place of wisdom and strength that is untouchable by the outside world. It is not affected by other people's opinions, nor by their actions. It exists in the quiet recesses of your heart, waiting for you to claim it. And when you do, nothing and no one will ever be able to take it from you. This is your birthright. When you begin to trust yourself, you begin to trust the choices you make. You begin to recognize that each decision you make is a reflection of your self-worth, your values, and your inner knowing. No longer will you settle for anything less than what you deserve. You will no longer let fear dictate your decisions. You will no longer let insecurity, guilt, or shame influence your actions. You will rise above the noise and the distractions, and you will stand firm in the power of who you are. When you recognize your worth and take full responsibility for your own healing, you begin to see the world through a different lens. You begin to see every challenge as an opportunity for growth, every pain as a lesson, every heartbreak as a stepping stone toward your own transformation. The world no longer feels like a battleground. It feels like a playground, a place where you can create, explore, and expand in ways that were once unimaginable. This transformation is inevitable. The more you embrace who you truly are, the more you step into your power, the more the world will shift around you. It's like the moment you step into a room and you no longer need to prove yourself. Your presence speaks for itself. Your energy is magnetic. Your confidence is palpable. The people around you start to take notice, not because you're chasing them, not because you need their validation, but because you are fully embodying your own worth. And that energy is irresistible. But remember, this journey is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself day after day, even when it feels difficult, even when the old patterns try to pull you back. It's about remembering that healing is not linear. It's about embracing the messiness, the mistakes, and the challenges, knowing that each one is a part of the process. And through it all, you remain steadfast in your belief that you are worthy of everything that's meant for you. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of respect. You are worthy of a love that sets your soul on fire, a love that lifts you up, that mirrors your strength, that sees you for who you truly are. And that love starts with you. You are the one you've been waiting for. When you fully realize this, when you embrace this truth, you will no longer chase after relationships that mirror your fears. Instead, you will attract relationships that mirror your strength. You will no longer settle for anything less than the love you deserve, because you will already have it within yourself. You will be the source of your own happiness, your own validation, your own peace. This is not a dream. This is your reality. Step into it. And as you do, watch as the world transforms before your eyes. Watch as the people around you start to mirror your strength, your confidence, and your unwavering belief in yourself. Watch as the love you've always sought, the real, deep, soul-aligned love, flows toward you effortlessly. It's all within you. You've always had everything you need. You are worthy. You are enough. And the time to embrace your power is now. As you stand at the crossroads of your life, know this: the power to shape your future lies within you. You've spent far too long looking outside yourself for validation, for love, for worth. But the truth is, everything you need is already inside you. The strength you seek, the peace you crave, the love you desire, it all begins with you. The relationships you've been caught in, the ones that mirrored your fears, were not mistakes. They were mirrors of what you needed to face within yourself. The moment you stop seeking approval from the outside world and turn inward, acknowledge your own fears, embrace your imperfections, and recognize your inherent value, that's the moment everything shifts. No one else can define your worth. No one else can determine your peace. Only you have the power to write the story of your life. You've come to realize that love is not about finding someone else to heal you. It's about discovering the fullness of love within yourself first. It's about seeing yourself as whole, as enough, as deserving of everything good this world has to offer. It's about understanding that no matter where you've been or what you've faced, you are not defined by your past or the pain you've experienced. You are defined by your ability to rise above it, to learn from it, and to walk forward with confidence, compassion, and strength. As you begin this new chapter, remember, the power to attract the right people, the right experiences, and the right love begins with the energy you bring to the world. When you stand tall in your own truth, when you walk through life with your head held high, knowing your worth and your value, the universe will mirror that back to you. The people who are meant for you will show up. The relationships that honor you will flow into your life. But first, you must believe you are worthy of them. You are worthy. You are worthy of love that uplifts you, that sees you for who you truly are, and that supports your growth. You are worthy of peace that radiates from within, that doesn't rely on others to make you feel whole. You are worthy of a life that reflects the strength, wisdom, and resilience you've cultivated through every challenge. As you stand in this moment, on the edge of your own transformation, know that this is not the end. It is only the beginning. The beginning of a life where you no longer shrink to fit the expectations of others. The beginning of a life where you embrace yourself, every part of yourself, with love and acceptance. The beginning of a life where you stand confidently in your own power, knowing that you are not just worthy of everything you desire, you are meant for it. Walk forward with unwavering faith in yourself, because the best is yet to come, and you are the one who will create it. The world is waiting for you. Now, step into it.